Hey everybody, this is Maxine Taylor with my Trumpology Report for May 2019. And I'm going to start by going back to January, the beginning of this year. Why? Because in January, we had two eclipses. Now, you know, eclipses are very, very powerful things, and I call them a cosmic 2x4. They kick us forward. I love eclipses. They are at their peak 3 to 4 months after they occur. So those January eclipses are strongest right now. The first one was January 5th. It was in 15 degrees of Capricorn. Find 15 degrees of Capricorn in your birth chart and allow a 5-degree orb. It should be very interesting to see, hindsight being 2020, what's going on in your chart now, as well as Trump's. So this eclipse for Trump fell in his 5th house of fun and games, gambling, taking a chance on things, children, sex, sports. So this eclipse was about fun, enjoying himself, having a good time, which is cool. I mean, I like for people to have a good time. That's the first eclipse, January 5th, strongest right now. The second eclipse was January 21st in 1 degree of Leo, and it fell right here on Trump's 12th house cusp. The cusp is the strongest area of the chart. And so what does the 12th house mean? It means behind the scenes activities. It means those things that will never come to light, or at least the people involved hope that they will never come to light. Deals with hospitals, prisons. It deals with our hidden enemies. Now, our open enemies are the 7th house. Notice there's no eclipse there. But these are our hidden enemies, or in this case, Trump's hidden enemies. And so this is the enemy within, so to speak. This can be, I'm not talking about Russia because I think they are our open enemy. However, there may still be some private negotiations going on, again, with Trump, because this is his chart. I don't think that Russia or North Korea, at least the face they're putting on is that they are open. So we would consider them our open enemies. But with this 12th house activated, we don't know who they are, but they are. See what I'm saying? Okay, now let me narrow this down a little bit and talk about the new moon and full moon for this month, because this is very, these new moons and full moons are very, very powerful. Okay, the new moon, which is when energy starts moving forward, is on May 4th, and it's in Trump's 9th house. Now, the 9th house deals with our higher mind, long distance travel, our philosophy of life. It also deals with foreign people from foreign lands. It can also be officials from foreign lands. No, 9th house travel is long distance travel. 3rd house travel, by the way, is car. You know what I mean? 9th house is plane, and maybe, I don't know, steamship, you know, ocean liner, but it's long distance. With the new moon in that 9th house, there can begin open discussions with some of our foreign dignitaries. And I don't know, I mean, the President of the United States deals with dignitaries from all nations. And so that's triggered. And because the previous eclipse, the previous full moon, on his 12th cusp, but not the previous full moon, but the previous lunar eclipse indicated a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we will just never know about. Remember, the January eclipses blend with everything going on. So that's the new moon. The full moon on May 18th is in 27 Scorpio, 39. Now, this is a very powerful full moon. Scorpio is the sign of all or nothing. There's no messing around. There are no halfway measures. And so the intensity of a Scorpio full moon is great. It's in his fourth house of home and family and real estate. Now, real estate, of course, is part and parcel of his makeup. So there's a great deal going on involving his real estate holdings and involving his family members. How is this going to work out? I have no idea. You have no idea, because every day is a surprise with Trump, because he has that Uranus North Node Sun in his 10th house, and Uranus is the planet of rebellion. It's his most highly elevated planet, and that colors his whole chart. Now, in addition, the sun, the yellow planet, is the giver of life, and wherever it falls in your birth chart while it's moving round and round, it lights it up. Well, the new moon and the sun are both heralding communication, communication with, and transportation involving people from other countries, which is beautiful. It can also be trade agreements with foreign dignitaries. I love that. On the 15th of the month, however, the sun moves into his 10th house. It sits on his midheaven, the very top of the chart. And I put a little yellow mark there to show that this is very, very important. The 10th house is your career. It's what the public sees of you. The sun is the center of our life. The 10th house is the authority figure. He steps into his kingly role on starting the 15th and continuing actually through mid-June, because that's when the sun will change signs, move into Cancer, and move out of his 10th house. And so when the sun is in his 10th house, we can expect him to be the true showman. Lots going on, lots of attention coming his way, which is what he loves. And he feels like he's on top. Now, Biden has entered the presidential race. So I think that we're going to see even more Trump than we have before. Okay. Or at least than we have last year at this time, because that's every year at this time the sun is in his 10th house. All right, now let's look at Mercury. Mercury is the blue planet. Mercury is what we think about and talk about. Well, it's in his 9th house, pretty much the first half of the month. On the 18th, it moves into his 10th house. So Mercury is communication. So he is talking with people at a distance. He is negotiating. He's got ideas on communicating with these foreign dignitaries. Cool. On the 18th, it moves into his 10th house, and we will hear more from him as the leader. Now, on the 29th of May, this is very important. On the 29th of May, Mercury sits on Uranus. Uranus is the rebel. Uranus rules his 7th house of open enemies and competitors, and his 6th house of work, health, and employees. So we can expect the unexpected when it comes to those areas. Well, he will be probably saying a lot of things extemporaneously, and perhaps coming up with some announcement relating to some of his the other candidates, if there is another Republican candidate or the Democratic candidates. But we can expect the unexpected on the 29th of May. Okay, first two charts. Now, here we go. Venus the planet of love and beauty and money and happiness. It is the lesser benefic, and wherever it is in your chart, it brings happiness. It brings a certain amount of beauty, a certain amount of love. It's in Trump's eighth house, and the eighth house deals with joint finances. It deals with other people's money. Okay, it deals with secrets. And so any secrets he's involved in seem to turn out okay. On the 8th, Venus moves into his ninth house, and this will enhance his ability. Let me pull up Mercury and the Sun. His ability to communicate with world leaders from other countries, of course. And there's his communication with that, and travel. So this is a really lovely aspect for him. And everybody has Venus in their chart. And so once a year, this is the area of life where he experiences that. And he loves to travel, so there will be more long distance travel with the Sun and Mercury and Venus in his ninth house. And he's going to bring, of course, foreign dignitaries here. He'll bring our friends here, or should I say the people he considers to be our friends. It's going to be interesting. But this enhances his relationships with people from afar, which is very, very lovely. As a citizen of the United States, I want our public image enhanced. I want our relationship with our foreign friends and neighbors to be one of love and harmony. That may be idealistic of me, but that's what I want. Now look at here. Here's Jupiter down at the bottom of his chart. Jupiter is the greater benefic. Venus is the lesser. That's a joke. Venus is fabulous, but lesser. Jupiter is abundance. But I have seen, and maybe those of you who study astrology have seen, that Jupiter can be an abundance of whatever. When I describe Jupiter, I always say, think of a lot of. A lot of what? A lot of whatever it triggers. So it's retrograde now, so it is not really delivering all of its potential to enhance and bless. It will go direct August 12th, right in that time frame. So it's going to be retrograde for a while in areas involving home, family, and even real estate. So if his real estate holdings come up for grab, they will probably do so when Jupiter is direct. It sits on his moon in his fourth house. He has a Sagittarius moon, as many of you know. The moon is where we look for our emotional security, and Jupiter is on that placement from the 21st to the 31st of May. It sits on the moon and the south node. The south node is that area of life which we have mastered in past lives. And it can be an area of drain, emotional, financial, energetic drain, if we spend too much time here, wherever the south node is, excuse me. His north node is in the 10th house, so he wants to balance both of those. And with his Sun and Uranus in the 10th, it's his public image, his career, that it takes most of his attention. Not so much his home and family. I forget how many times he's been married, but you can see there's a change in the home and family situation that can be a drain on him. But he's instinctively drawn to it for moon emotional security. So when Jupiter goes direct in August, then that will all come to light and may bear fruit very favorably for him. And the last planet, Mars. I love Mars. Mars is action. Mars is energy. Wherever it is in your chart, that's what comes first to you. That's what you throw yourself into. Well, Look here. Mars is in his 10th house. Well, that's his career. It's his public image. And he has been out there campaigning. You know, the election is quite a ways off. He started campaigning when he took office. It was campaigning for his re-election. So Mars is in his 10th house now, and so his public image comes first to him. Well, uh, he's going to have to he's going to really push it, because now that Biden is in the race, that's another challenger, and apparently a pretty strong challenger to Trump. So on May 1st, which is today, the day I'm recording this, Mars sits on his north node. So his public image looks pretty darn good. He is throwing himself into his public image. Mars is anger. So we can expect anger at his rallies, firing up the group, which is his trademark. That's what he does, but he's doing it more now. And on the 4th, Mars sits on his sun. There is a great deal of impatience and anger that we're going to be seeing this week, the first week of May, in his chart. Then on the 15th, Mars enters his 11th house. Now, this is very interesting because the 11th house deals with friends, hopes, wishes, group activities, and the people that we turn to as our friends. On the 29th of May, and shoot, where's Mercury? Here we go. 29th of May, two things happen that I want you to be aware of. Be interesting to watch the news. Mars sits on Mercury. Mars is anger, Mercury is self-expression. He's going to be angry at his friends. If there's anything dealing with groups, such as Congress, he is going to let it all hang out. Now, on that very same day, look at here, Mercury sits on Uranus. And this is him rebelling publicly. It's going to be real interesting to see what he does, who gets the axe, what he says, because with Mars, he's still fighting. He's still out there fighting. And in June, as Mars moves through his 11th house, he will continue to become angry with his friends and different groups that he's involved with. So, should be interesting. And we're used to the unexpected, so it may not be as shocking. But look, wait till May 29th, and we'll see what happens. By then, I'll be back in touch with my next Trumpology report for June. So, my dear friends, I hope this has been helpful to you. And I hope that if you are ready for your own reading from me, that you go to my website, MaxineTaylor.com, set up a time for a reading, and let me show you how awesome you are, and let me help you plan your road forward. So until we meet again, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours.